Before we start, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the internet is acting strange? It seems full of content, but empty of people. The comments all sound the same, the profiles feel repetitive, and sometimes it's hard to believe there's a real person behind the screen. It's not just your imagination. There's a chilling theory that might explain it all. It's called the internet's dark forest, because here, we explore what's hidden behind the screen. In today's video, we'll make you look at your feed with completely different eyes. But be warned, this theory isn't for those afraid to question digital reality. If you're someone who loves diving into mysteries, into mind-bending theories, then hit that subscribe button right now. Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a dark forest. Nothing moves, no one speaks, a deadly silence. And at the slightest sound, something could find you. That's the exact feeling many people are having on the internet today. What should have been an open, vibrant space, as if even the smallest noise could attract something you definitely don't want to meet. Fear hangs in the air like fog, is becoming a place where silence is the only defense. A concept suggesting that the web has become a silent, hostile territory where humans are hiding. And the reason goes far beyond trolls and fakes. And stay tuned, because what comes next might change how you see the network that connects the world. But why is this happening? And what could it mean if this theory is true? Stick around to the end, because this story might change the way you use the internet. Not because they're shy, but because they're afraid. Afraid that revealing their position could attract interstellar predators? Imagine each civilization as an animal in a dark forest. They stop commenting, lock their profiles, abandon public forums, disappear from time. And it's not because the internet is boring, it's because it's becoming hostile. If it makes a sound, it could be heard by another, not one looking for friendship, but to eliminate competition. The result? Everyone stays absolutely silent. Survival through invisibility. The hypothesis was created to explain one of the greatest cosmic mysteries. If the universe is so vast and full of stars, why have we never encountered other intelligent civilizations? Imagine this. You're in a forest. Not just any forest, but a dark, dense, silent one. All of it creates a toxic, noisy, dangerous environment. The kind that makes anyone think twice before speaking up. Or in this case, typing something. So, just like in the cosmic dark forest, the internet has become a place where standing out too much can get you in trouble. No bird song, no rustling leaves, just the muffled sound of your own breathing. Everything feels frozen. Now, imagine that forest is the internet. Sounds dramatic. Well, that is exactly the analogy behind one of the most unsettling and bizarre theories about the future of digital life. The internet's dark forest theory, but no real people behind them. That feeling has a name. And more than that, it might point to a digital collapse already underway, one that threatens not just us humans, but even the very AI powering this ecosystem. Have you ever felt that the internet is crowded, yet somehow empty, that there are millions of posts, videos, and comments? So hit that like button if you're someone who goes beyond the surface. The dark forest theory didn't originate online. It comes from astrobiology, the branch of science that studies life beyond Earth. The answer is chilling. Maybe all intelligent civilizations are hiding. Now apply that logic to our digital world. In recent years, experts, theorists, and content creators began noticing a strange pattern. People are going quiet. Trolls, haters, fake news, deepfakes, scams, bots, privacy invasions, and that's just the beginning. What comes next is even stranger and more dangerous. Have you noticed how your friends used to post way more a few years ago? How comment sections had conversations, long replies, open debates, and now everything feels more muted. Profiles are locked. Stories disappear. Posts are replaced by silent observations. No one wants to speak out loud anymore. But why? The answer may lie in the transformation of the internet into a hunting ground. A digital forest full of invisible predators, where any form of expression can attract trouble. You post an opinion, and in minutes you're attacked. You share a photo, and weeks later, it's used out of context, against you. It's a cycle of exposure and punishment, with an unspoken rule. The more you show up, the more risk you take. So collective behavior changes, silence becomes defense, absence becomes a shield, and little by little, the internet empties of real people. But that doesn't mean it's empty. In fact, as humans retreat, another presence grows. Artificial intelligence, bots simulating engagement, synthetic avatars, automated comments, machine-generated videos. The space once filled with human voices is now occupied by entities that don't feel fear, don't mind criticism, and never rest. Meanwhile, people migrate. They go to private WhatsApp groups, Telegram channels, locked Discord servers, more controlled spaces where you know who you're talking to, where the risk of being exposed or attacked is lower. Safe havens, like caves inside the forest. And here's the oddest part. Even when people want to interact, doubt lingers. Is this person even real? A question that once sounded absurd now feels routine. Because with so many fake voices, overly perfect images, and AI-generated profiles, trust has become an act of courage. That's where the digital dark forest shows its true strength. Not through direct evil, but through the fear of the unseen. Not with overt attacks, but with a constant atmosphere of threat. And in that silent tension, people withdraw. And by withdrawing, they unknowingly make the forest even darker. But what happens when all that's left? Are the machines? The answer is already starting to show. At first glance, it seems like the internet has never been more alive. TikTok pulses with new videos every second. Instagram explodes with brilliant images. YouTube is updated with thousands of hours of content every hour. But who's behind it all? The answer is more disturbing than it seems. Amid the data storm, much of this content isn't made by humans. At least not directly. It's machines. Auto-generating software. Neural networks that mimic voices, faces, styles. Bots that write, draw, voice, give opinions. They simulate perfectly. In recent years, AI has leaped forward so dramatically that it can now produce content indistinguishable from that of humans. Hyper-realistic images, videos of people who never existed, texts with opinion, irony, emotion, all generated based on the billions of posts, articles, photos, and videos we humans created over decades. All our spontaneity became fuel for machines. But there's a problem with this synthetic perfection. As more humans go silent, AI starts consuming itself. With little new human content to learn from, models begin training on what was generated by other AIs, a digital Achu, a loopy. And when one AI learns from another AI without human input, something is lost. Creativity, imperfection, intuition, nuance, that unpredictable, chaotic spark only a human can bring. The result? Content that's increasingly uniform, generic, repetitive, a copy of a copy of a copy. It's as if the internet has become an infinite library of clever-sounding sentences that mean nothing. And this is already happening. Entire platforms are overrun by generic comments like, "Love this post," or "So important," "Congrats on the content." Phrases repeated across different profiles, as if copy-pasted, and often, they are the scariest part. Most people don't even notice. We're living in a world where content is abundant, but the soul behind it is vanishing. The digital dark forest isn't just quiet, it's a shadow theater, where most voices are just echoes, where applause comes from hands that don't exist. And the more people realize this, the more they pull back. And the more they pull back, the more AI takes over. A vicious cycle that might lead to an unexpected destination, the collapse of artificial intelligence itself. And that brings us to the next point. Have you heard of the symbol of a serpent eating its own tail? It's an ancient icon called the It represents the eternal cycle, rebirth, but also self-destruction. And frighteningly, that's exactly what's happening to AI in the internet's dark forest. It all started with the idea that AIs could learn from human content. Texts, videos, music, jokes, memes, all processed by algorithms to teach machines how to be human. So far, so good. But what happens when the human supply runs out? Answer machines start learning from other machines. But here's the problem. AI-generated content looks human, but isn't. It contains subtle flaws, context errors, hollow patterns, disguised repetitions, and when those errors become training data for other AIs, they multiply. A study published in 2023 warned, when language models are fed synthetic data, their performance drops drastically. They start producing incoherent, predictable, even harmful outputs, because on the surface, everything still sparkles, the images are beautiful, the voices still stir emotion, the texts sound convincing, and machines recycle digital junk, a big bubble of appearances held up by nothing. But inside, it's all hollow, like an AI teaching another AI to write clever-sounding nonsense. And the worst part? This cycle is almost invisible. It's like watching a play where the actors forgot their lines, but keep moving on stage because the show must go on. And the more they occupy, the more we forget what it was like to truly interact. If the internet keeps heading this way, where humans go quiet, that seeks to understand what's behind the noise. Not by shouting in the forest, but by lighting small fires. Because the universe of curiosity never ends, and the next topics will make you even more intrigued. Safe, intimate spaces where real conversation is still possible, where connection is still real, where content still has a soul. Loud, yes, but alive, chaotic, vibrant. Now, it's slowly becoming something else. A dense, quiet forest, where every step is calculated, where fear of judgment, exposure, lies, manipulation, has silenced people. And in that scenario, the collapse won't just be human. About how, in the face of chaos, we shrink back, we hide. And in doing so, we leave space for something else to take our place. Something that doesn't feel, that doesn't think like us, but that has learned to mimic us very well. AI itself will cease to evolve. Without real data, without authentic experiences, it will become less useful, more limited, dumber, a paradox. The creature that depends on human creativity to exist, choking its own source of inspiration. The digital dark forest isn't just where humans hide. It's where machines, in dominating everything, doom themselves to emptiness. But is there a way out? The internet used to be a plaza full of voices. The dark forest theory isn't just about technology. It's about human behavior. It's ironic. The more we try to protect our humanity, the more we give the stage to machines. But maybe, just maybe, that's also the way out. If you've made it this far, you're already part of the group that's not satisfied with the surface. So leave a comment. Do you believe the internet is becoming a dark forest? Have you felt that digital emptiness? And of course, if this kind of reflection resonates with you, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for being here. See you in the next deep dive.